Welcome. Today's class we're going to start in a kneeling position. It's called Virasana. So you're going to start by placing a block crosswise between your heels and come back, and if the knees don't feel good, come up a little higher. So the height is dependent on about what the knees need, and so you just come up as high as you can so you can be relaxed. And just come to the present moment now, going inside, scanning your body. Take a nice full deep breath, follow it as it comes in through the nostrils, fills up into the belly, lowest part of the lungs, up into the chest and the back, and as you exhale, do so slowly and evenly. Take another 2 deep breaths here. Making the shift into your practice today, coming into the present moment by inhaling in this present moment and exhaling all the chatter, mental chatter, the emotions that have been present before. So let's focus on the hand gesture, the mudra you're going to use today. It's called Chinmaya Mudra. So it's like the classical meditation mudra with the thumb tip and index fingertips together and the other 3 fingers spread out. But instead of having the palms up, the palms are down. So you can just rest them on your thighs. And again, close your eyes here and start to take some nice deep breaths. Breathe into the sense of awareness of your skeletal system. As you exhale, relax the muscles. As you inhale, inflate the sense of stability in your skeletal system. As you exhale, allow for space to come between the joints. Notice which joints feel cramped. And relax and soften so the muscles can soften, the connective tissue can soften, and the joint space can expand. So continue this deep breathing, going inside, connecting to the theme of this practice, which is about embodied acknowledgement. Whereas the antithesis of this mudra, dhyana with the palms up, is about transcendent knowledge. With the palms down, it's about embodied knowledge. Both are complementary, the yin and the yang. So we're going to focus into stability, into the body, paying attention to what is going on. Connects with the first chakra, with the earth element, with the grounding principle, which is essential in order to stay in this physical environment we're on and to honor the physical body. So connect with your skeletal system. If there's any challenges within it, make note of that. Connect with aspects of your circulation. If you have high blood pressure, this is a great mudra to bring it back into a natural normal rhythm. It helps us connect into the wisdom of the body. It helps us bring balance. This is especially so if your daily routines take you into your head, mental thoughts, emotions a lot. To ground back into the body is essential. And we take our wisdom by listening to the body, and we take better care of ourselves and of others. So take a moment now to pull together an intention for your practice today. Do you need more grounding within yourself? Envision and speak an intention that addresses how this grounding can benefit you and thus others. And what it is you exactly desire to come out of this. Perhaps simply just more integration through the layers of your being, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, which is always the aim of yoga. As you feel and speak it within yourself, energetically send it out into your life. And then release. Release the mudra, stretch through your fingers and hands, open your eyes. So from here, let's just start to do a gentle warm-up of the spine. Reach your arms up overhead as you inhale, and then as you exhale, bring one hand down to the floor. If you're high up, bring a block there. And then keeping the arms in line with the hips, reach over, exhaling. As you inhale, bring the arms back up and come over to the other side. So anchor the opposite sit bone onto your support. Inhale, come back up, feel the reach through the crown of the head and fingertips, feel the anchoring to the earth through the block, and then stretch over to the first side again, coming a little deeper into this. Inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, come over to the second side. Each time going a little deeper. One more set now, reach up, anchor down, exhale over to the first side. Maybe that hand on the floor goes over a little more. Keep the opposite sit bone firmly planted. Inhale, come back up and over to the second side. Reaching, exhaling. Inhale, bring the arms back up. Bring the palms together and draw them down to the heart. As you inhale, reach the arms open and reach them to the plane behind you. And as you exhale, bring the arms forward, crown of head forward. Now focusing on the upper back and neck a little more. Inhale, bring the arms back. Go a little deeper with this arch of the chest. Make sure you're engaging your belly muscles so that doesn't arch. Reach forward through the mid-upper back and neck, crown of head. Inhale, reach the arms back. Try to keep them at about shoulder height. Exhale and come forward, rounding the upper spine, lengthening through the neck and crown of head. Inhale and lengthening in the arch backwards, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. One more set. Exhale forward. Inhale and open. And then come back to center with the hands in prayer position at the heart. Next inhale, anchor down and reach the arms up. And as you exhale, twist to the left. It doesn't really matter which direction, just twist to one direction. Use the hands against the thigh and side waist or hip here to help the turn. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale and twist in the other direction. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale and twist. Inhale, back to center. Lifting up, anchoring down. Exhale and twist. Little deeper each time. Inhale, come back to center. Twist to the first side again. And anchor in here. And then turn the head towards the front plane. Inhale, unwind head, body, reach the arms. Exhale and twist to the other side. Once you've twisted, then turn the gaze head towards the front of the mat. Inhale, unwind the head, unwind the spine, reach the arms up, and then stretch them out to the side body, dropping them down. Let's come off the lift now and get your blocks, your wooden blocks, or heavier blocks if you have them. And then if in any ways the knees are compromised, you're going to kneel on a blanket. And then come forward into table position. So, knees are on a blanket. And lengthening through the spine. Inhale, spreading space into the vertebrae in the back body. As you exhale, you're going to bring the right knee and forehead towards each other. As you inhale, you're going to stretch the leg back. As you exhale, you're going to tuck, stretching the whole of the spine. And as you inhale, reach the leg back, head up. So again, we're doing this front, back, body warm up of the whole of the spine and the skeletal system. Last time here. And then let the knee come down, come back to center for a breath. Fingers should be spread wide, arms nice and straight and strong, pressing the chest towards the ground a little, just opening up the space. Inhale, nice and deep breath. Exhale, and the left knee, forehead come together, round the spine, press through the hands. Inhale, stretch the leg back, chest forward, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale and tuck. Inhale and stretch. Exhale and tuck. Inhale and stretch. And then release the back knee down again. So we're just going to go into the upper body a little bit more. You're going to inhale and reach the right arm up. And then as you exhale, you're going to stretch and bring that arm through and rest the outer arm and head on the floor. Adjust the hands so that you can, that left hand, so it helps you stabilize. Send the hips to the center plane. Relax into this. Breathing. And maybe pressing down through that left hand a little more. Anchor through the tops of your feet. Then inhale, press in through the left hand, lifting up. Release that right arm and do some little shoulder rolls, elbow wing rolls, and come back into table position. Lengthen the spine, soften the neck. Inhale, lift the left arm up, and then sweep it out over to the right. Laying the arm down on the mat, lengthening the head, resting the side on the mat, and then just adjusting your right hand so you can put a little pressure in it and create a deeper twist in the upper body here. Again, try to keep the hips directly above the knees, not swaying to the side, and focus on exhaling and relaxing into this. Inhaling, bringing length to the spine, sending the tailbone back. Then inhale, press through the right hand, lift back up, do some little rotations in the shoulder, and then bring the hands forward. Curl your back toes under and lift the knees off and stretch in through the back of the legs here. And bend the knees and send the sit bones way up and back. The knees stay bent if your hamstrings are really tight and you're rounding the spine or the hips. Taking a few deep breaths here, focusing on deepening the breath. The inhale going into where you feel sensation, challenges, and bringing some ease to it in the present moment through the out-breath. On your next inhale, step the right foot forward. Take your heavier blocks here and bring your hands onto the blocks. And then lower the back knee. Just adjust your props so that your back knee is nicely engaged on a soft surface so you can relax into it. And have the blocks in the front up as high as you need so that you can rotate the shoulders back and lift through the spine, but keep some relaxation in the upper body. So we're looking for a nice continuous angled line from the back, knee, thigh, through the spine, right up through the crown of your head. If you're far forward and you're slouching the upper body, that is not optimal. But if your hands are down lower, that gives you a better diagonal line from crown of head to back knee, then that's optimal. So just feeling into the stretch in the hips, in the back thigh, feeling into the nice strength of the lower abdominal muscles. Pull up on the pelvic floor. Pull the pubic bone towards the navel and the navel in and out. So that brings length in the low back, and the stretch is in the front quadricep of the back leg, the front thigh. Inhale, push the right leg back, bring the knee in place, and just rock the hips a little side to side. Then step the left foot forward. Left knee is above the heel. Keep a nice alignment here. The legs are in parallel planes from feet through hip joints. And again, find that optimum height where you can bring length through the spine, continue that energy right up through the crown of your head. But you can find relaxation in the chest, in the shoulders. They soften, open, broaden. Just feeling and softening into the stretch and the back leg. Inhale, push into the front leg, bring the knees back, and then come back, preparing for another down dog. Nice spread fingers, as much weight in the thumbs as the baby fingers. Curl the back toes under, lift the knees, and then stretch back. Let's go a little further into the hamstrings now. So feel a nice diagonal line from crown of head, hands, arms, through the shoulders and spine, up to the sit bones, tailbone. That's diagonal. If you're rounding the spine at all, focus on bending the knees a little more and lengthening and sending the sit bones up. Then slowly start to stretch one leg a little straighter as you breathe out. And then switch on the inhale and the other leg, straightening it out a little bit more. But try not to change the orientation of the angle from the hands, head, spine to the sit bones. So just one side at a time. So if you're trying to stretch through the back of the legs, you're not doing it by compensating through the upper or middle spine, torso area. Then as you inhale, come forward into plank, shoulders above the hands, lower the knees, tops of the feet, then lower down. Try to do this straight as a board. As you inhale, bring the forearms down and pull the lower belly, navel off the floor. Keep the low back safe by engaging the pelvic floor, pubic bone to navel, navel in and up. And if you need to, because you have challenges in the low back, engage the glutes as well. And then pressing down through the forearms, which are in parallel planes, push the forearms back without them moving and press the chest forward. So you go a little deeper into the middle and upper back, strengthening here, chest opening, shoulders pull to the back body. Sphinx pose. Make sure you're keeping a nice strong lower abdominal belly muscle engaged. Then release back down, readjust the hands on either side of the chest, engage the belly pelvic floor, arms pushing up, back into half plank, curl the toes under, lift the knees, and press back into downward dog. Go a little deeper here again, trying to lengthen through where you feel there's congestion. Where are the challenging patterns for you? As you inhale, shift weight forward and bring the right foot forward and the back foot, anchor the whole of the foot. Then pushing down, keep a nice deep knee bend and come up, coming into Warrior One, the basic form of it. Keeping hands on hips to start with, just adjusting so that you are facing the hips forward. You're not open with the hips here. You're turning them forward. And if that means you have to adjust the back foot in some way, angling it out, try not to angle it any more than 45 degrees. Again, deepening the front knee bend. Inhale, reach the arms up, pull the shoulders into joint, lift the head. And as you exhale, deepen the front knee bend. Going into Warrior One, finding the heart of the warrior, centered and calm in your body. Inhale, and as you exhale, return the hands to the floor. Step the right front foot back and come back into down dog. Inhale and step the left foot forward. Again, angling the back foot. Have a nice distance between the 2 feet so that you can have a nice deep knee bend in the front while maintaining that knee right over the heel. Rotate that right hip forward, so right thigh rolls to the midline. And then engage again from the pubic bone to the navel, so you're not bringing extra compression into the low back. Keep that lower belly nice and strong, and then inhale. Once the shoulders are stacked above the hips, lifting the arms up overhead, shoulders into joint, lengthening and lining, crown of head, right above middle of the throat, neck, right along the central channel, line of the spine. Find that heart of stability, finding your whole skeletal system as a support. Next inhale, reach the hands forward, lift up your back heel, and step that left foot back. Come back into down dog. Nice deep breaths as you feel the warming up, as you feel your awareness going more into the body, into the breath. Next inhale, send your right foot forward. This time bring it more to the middle of the mat and line up the back, left foot, middle of the mat, so that the front, lead foot, right foot lines up with the back arch. Bend the right knee and then stretch the left arm forward, push off, and set yourself up for Warrior Two. So just feeling first from the foundation, the feet, the right knee right above the heel, and stretching back through the back leg, the left leg. Hips are opening in the inner thighs and the shoulders are right above the hips. And then as you inhale, open up the arms at the level of the shoulders. If that's hard and that neck space shrinks, rotate the hands so the palms are up and soften the shoulders, shoulder blades down the back body. Inhale here, align the head. Usually that means back of the skull pulls towards towards the space behind you, and then turn the head and the gaze over the right fingertips. Try to resist the tendency to reach forward. It's kind of a metaphor for reaching and always in the future. Stabilize right in the heart, shoulders above the hips. Try to deepen your front knee bend. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips and unbend the lead leg, right knee. Bring the feet so they're parallel, facing forward. And then as you exhale, turn to the other direction. So again, we're always looking for the optimal distance of the feet, and that might change day to day. Left foot lining up with right arch. And as you exhale, bend the left knee. Have as much energy going into that back leg. That will help you at the very foundation to find the vertical central channel of the spine, so you're not reaching forward. This is a very nice solid foundation, and then the vertical lift is right from the pelvic floor through the crown of your head. Inhale and open up the arms. Maybe turning the palms up, maybe not. Just playing with this for yourself. Aligning the head, crown of head above the pelvic floor, and then turning the head and the gaze to the left. Have as much awareness in the right fingertips. Nice deep breaths, finding your stability, finding your solidity. Reaching from the heart out, energetically pulling heart energy back into the center. Feeling how the whole skeletal system supports you. How your feet are so important. Connection to the earth. Next inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Unbend the front knee. And then bring your feet parallel. And then if you need, you're going to grab some blocks for the next standing poses. So bring one on either side, the long side, on the same side and the long side of your mat. And then open up the feet again and turn to the first side, so that now your right foot is again lined up with your left arch. And then from here again, working on that nice strength, pressing down to the earth evenly through both feet. Let that energy come up the thighs, up the bones of the legs, into the hips, and then rotate the inner thighs outwards. Draw the buttocks down, pull up on the pelvic floor, have a nice long spine. Inhale and reach the arms out. And as you exhale, you're going to reach forward with the left arm and bring the right arm, bring the right hand down, and then let it come onto a block right below the shoulder. So not forward and not crunched up back. We want maximum opening through both side waists, so that the space from your right hip joint through to the right armpit is nice and long. Try to work that so it's more parallel to the floor. So it's not that we're aiming to get the hand to the ground. Usually that means, for probably 99% of the people, that what you end up doing is rounding the spine and coming forward. And you don't get as good of a stretch for the physical body. And in this case, that means through the muscles, the bones, creating more space through the joints, and also the organs. Then as you inhale next, you're going to bend the right front knee and plug in your arm to the inner thigh and push the inner thigh into the arm. Then you're going to sweep the upper left arm over, trying to find internally the kinesthetic feel of the back leg lining up in an angle, adding the spine on that angle, and then the upper arm on that angle. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, your connection to the earth, feeling the spine. exhale as you reach and pull back to center, softening where you're feeling the stretching. Then inhale, push down, lift up, bring the feet parallel, hands at the hips, and pause for a breath. Then turn the feet in the other direction. So now the left foot leg is the lead leg. And again, feeling both feet anchoring fully across the balls of the feet, across the heels. And then opening up the inner thighs, away from the inner groin, opening the groin. And then adjusting so shoulders are above the hips, head right on that stack. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then as you exhale, it's kind of like a windmill move. Arms stay consistent, and then again, block at the height that you can maintain the stack of the arms. So the right hand should be right above the left hand. If you can find more space between the feet, and that gives you a better stretch, do so. Left hand again, right below the left shoulder. Rotate a little bit if that chest is collapsing and the upper arm is forward. Pulling it back, aligning the head. If that's a lot of strain on the neck, turn the head and gaze towards the foot, that lead foot, softening and turning the head, neck in any way that allows for relaxation. Coming back to the earth, connecting to that, pushing down and pulling that grounding energy up through the skeletal system, creating length, creating the possibility of releasing tension in the muscles. At the same time, you're lengthening the muscles, connective tissue, also strengthening the muscles. Next inhale, bend the left knee, and then push the arm into the inner thigh, knee, and sweep the upper right arm overhead and have a nice diagonal line. So if your back was against the wall, both shoulder blades would be against the wall. Maybe not both buttocks, cheek, but that's what you're working towards. Even weight across the back heel, across the ball of the foot. And if you can go down a little deeper, do so, but not if that means you lose that upper body opening. Trying to bend the front knee a little more, working over time so that the bent knee thigh is parallel to the floor. Add a little smile. Working into this, going deeper. Finding how the breath can help bring awareness and softening. Next inhale, push and pull yourself back up. Hands to the hips, bring your feet parallel, and then step them to the center. And just do any movements to bring that energy so it's circulating through the body. So now you may want to get your belt. We're going to do a few balancing poses. Balance is initiated from the sense of stability, of groundedness. It's impossible to balance at any level if you are not grounded. So we're going to focus on big toe 1. And you start out in standing mountain position. So the feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Anchor them down evenly and press the outer thighs and the outer shins to the midline. Draw the tailbone down, pull up on the pelvic floor. Let that energy surge up the spine. Feel the crown open to the heavens, drawing energy down from this grounded place. shift weight over to the right leg, and you're either going to use a belt around the ball of the foot of the left leg, holding that belt. It can be in a loop or just you created a loop with 2 free open ends. Or you're going to use your fingers if you can actually hold your foot. So the weight is over on the right leg, but don't let that hip drop out. Pull it to the midline, pull up on the pelvic floor. Then when you're ready, lift the left foot off the floor. Bring your hand onto the belt closer to the foot. Bring your right hand on the right hip. And then extend the leg and foot out. If you can hold the foot and extend without collapsing the spine, then the 2 fingers of the left hand, the first 2 fingers, go around the big toe and you extend the leg out. So now draw this left sit bone down so it's not jacking up. That brings the whole body out to the side and you lose your balance. Another nice deep breath here. Then as you inhale, bend the knee, release the foot and the belt, and come to center, back in standing mountain pose, Tadasana. And then if you're using the belt, loop it underneath the right ball of the foot. Pressing into the ball of the foot here helps you really push out through the foot to feel the extension through the leg. So the leg is active. Come back into Tadasana awareness, mountain pose. It's the ultimate grounding pose, connecting to earth. And exhale and shift the weight over to the left leg. This should be barely perceptible, not hanging out and then you lose your balance here. There's a lot of strength in the core in order to have some sense of length of timing in a balanced pose. So shifting over to the left leg, bending the right knee, adjusting your hand closer to the foot on the belt, and then drawing the right sit bone down so it's closer to the earth, extend the leg out. So wherever you're at, if the knee is bent, that's fine. You're working on maintaining the balance and then going a little deeper into the stretch of the back of the leg. So the leg gets straighter. If it's straight, you want to go a little higher perhaps. Finding your edge. Perhaps the other arm extends out. And a little smile. Release the hand back. Inhale, bend the knee, remove the belt. And come back to Tadasana. And then come back to the first side. Sometimes balancing poses are just the nemesis. They're the most challenging thing to do, and sometimes they're not. So that they're a real indicator of where our bodies, our minds, and our heads are at. Can you remain in the center and balance? Again, requires grounding. That grounding through strong legs, strong pelvic floor action, and then strength through the core, open chest. So shifting weight back to the right leg, bend the left knee, let it come up. Hand gets closer to the foot, or fingers are on the toes again. Coming back, maybe going a little deeper into this. And then opening the leg out, big toe to now. Perhaps the other arm, right arm in this case, stretches out. Then inhale and come back. Exhale, bend the knee, release the belt. And come back to Tadasana. Bring the belt around your right foot again. Come back to center. So even if you aren't totally symmetrical side to side in terms of length. Balancing poses help you get closer to that. Shift the weight over to the left side, pull up on the pelvic floor, engage the core, lift and open the chest, align the head. Weight to the left leg, bend the front right knee, hand closer or on the toes, closer to the foot, extend the leg. Again, maybe coming up a little higher. Then as you inhale, open the leg to the side, perhaps opening up the opposite left arm here. So just playing with your edge. Like me, you may have one side that is stronger than the other. You just working. Working with the breath, working with the inner vision that this is possible. Inhale, bring the leg back forward, bend the knee, release the foot and the hand, massage again. So just feeling now the whole grounded essence of the body now, being in a kind of more earthy rhythm here. We're going to come to the floor now. So you might need a blanket to sit on. This is especially so if you know you have tight hamstrings, tightness in the hips, low back. So come up as high as you need so that the shoulders can be straight above the hips. So you're not slumped down, losing the natural curve of the low back, which is a forward curve. And in this position, you can also lift the chest. So bring the hands to the mat on either side of the hips, pressing down and lift up, lift the chest. Engage the lower core, starting from the pelvic floor, pulling pubic bone to navel, navel in and up, but broaden the ribs in the front. Soften the shoulders away from the ears and the upper arms towards the back body. Breathe, Dandasana. You can be pressing the front thighs, that is the quadriceps, to the back thighs, the hamstrings. It's an active pose, even though it looks rather passive. And release. Bend your right knee and bring the sole of the foot across to the outside of the left thigh. You can migrate your left straight leg that's on the mat on the floor across the midline a little bit so that really the knees are kind of in the same plane here. Bring your hands on the front thigh by the knee, shin, front in, shin, and then lift up from the sit bones, expanding the front body and softening the shoulders down and back. Feeling both sit bones anchored evenly. Inhale and switch. So you're just holding that bent knee with the left hand and you reach the right arm up. And as you exhale, bring it to the space behind you. You might need your soft block behind you here. You tell if you do, if you have to lean back. So it really depends on how high you are up underneath your sit bones, what kind of a lift you have here, so that you're aiming for a vertical spine here, not leaning back, not slumped in any way, or not pushing forward. Inhale, and as you exhale, unwind. Now cross that right knee so it's right on top of the left knee. And the right foot is over behind the left hip. Inhale here and lift up from the sit bones again. Engage the pelvic floor. Pubic bone to navel, that whole nice strong panel of lower abdominal muscles called the transverse abdominal. And then soften the shoulders back and lean forward. So you're stretching into the low back now. Soften the gaze and don't pull or push forward through the upper body. Let the chin draw back. Let the chest lift up, and maybe the belly flows down a little. So again, not forcing to any image of having your head down, low. It's really, again, a diagonal line from the tailbone or sit bones up through the spine, through the crown of your head. Not pushing forward through the head, through the chin. This rounds the middle and upper back. We do that enough just in our daily activities. Next inhale, push up from the sit bones and pelvic floor. Again, that grounding energy. And then release that top, bent knee, stretch out the legs. And then come to the other side. So now left knee bends. And your hands come to the shin, just below the knee. You come to the center of the sit bones. That lower straight leg is slightly angled now over to the left. Lift up from the sit bones. Bring the pelvis forward at the same time. You're drawing it in and up from the pelvic floor. Adjust so you're holding that bent knee with the right hand. Lift the left arm and rotate to the left. Again, trying to find the vertical line of the spine. The shoulders are open, front shoulders working to the back body, strengthening the upper and middle back as you're twisting, creating more space between the vertebrae of the whole of the spine. Just feel where you're feeling it. Soften where you're resisting. Soften the jaw and the mouth. Have a soft gaze or close your eyes once you're in the position. Inhale here, and as you exhale, unwind. Now bring the knees so they stack on each other, and that top foot is close to the outer hip. From here, find that center, even weight through both sit bones. Lift up through that space so you feel the whole spine get longer. And then as you exhale, lean forward from the pelvis. When the sensation gets intense, pause and relax into it on the out-breath. Add a little smile. Breath by breath, going a little deeper. That doesn't necessarily mean you look like you're going into more of a forward fold. It could just mean that you're relaxing and softening where you're feeling the stretching. Relaxing and softening where you notice tightness. Often in the jaw, in the mouth, in the eyes, in the shoulders, the base of the skull. To really bring a deeper sense of relaxation, lengthen the exhale. Make sure both the in-breath and the out-breath are nice and smooth and even. No judgment if they aren't. You're just working towards that in a conscious, aware way. Next inhale. Lift back up from the sit bones and the pelvic floor. And release. Stretching the legs out, working and stretching through the knees, through the ankles, feet, and through the hips. And then again, you might want to have a belt here. If you use a belt, it goes around the ball of the feet. Maybe there's just like an inch between the inner edges of the big toes. So start with anchoring the soles of the feet, pushing the balls of the feet into the belt, and then pulling with the belt. And then let that energy come up through the bones of the arms. Press down through your sit bones, lift up and get really nice and tall. Get engaging from the pelvic floor. That's your gateway to bring length and grounding through the whole of the spine, the whole of the upper part of the body. Inhale here, and as you exhale, just start to bend the elbows. You can bend them wide if that allows you to tune into the chest staying broad. And again, lowering the pelvis area towards the thighs. If your hamstrings are super tight, you may want to have a small round bolster or a towel or a blanket rolled up underneath your knees to the height that allows you to stretch a little more into the low back than just it all being about the back of the legs, especially the hamstrings. So this just allows you to perhaps really feel and tune into the front of the pelvis, softening towards the thighs. And even in that, try to bring a little more length. Come up, pull the belly, navel, and the pelvis, front pelvis, further along the thighs, and then lower down. Shoulders soften back, neck is long, gaze is soft. Add a little smile, relaxing into where you feel sensation. Just noticing what the wisdom of your body is telling you. A few more breaths here. Maintaining length from tailbone through crown of head. Softening of the neck or anywhere you notice congestion. Scan the sensory organs in the head, the mouth, the ears, the eyes, noticing even the sinuses and the brow, the whole scalp soft. Next inhale, pull up pelvic floor, sit bones pressing down, lifting up, letting the hands slide back along the belt, and then moving the belt off to the side. If you have a blanket underneath your knees, moving that out. So we're going to do a reclining twist now. Reclining twist is one of the best things for the whole of the spine. You might just want to set up a prop on either side. As we transition now, we will be moving more into that cooling down and softening towards final relaxation. So better not to have to fuss too much. So you're going to bend the knees, come down on your back body, and align yourself symmetrical. And then with the knees bent, walk the heels in closer towards your sit bones, and then pick one foot up at a time, knees together, and then as you exhale, roll them over to one side. I'm doing the left side, and hold the stack of the knees. So you may need a higher, or you might be able to bring the knees right to the floor, but have a support underneath that lower outer thigh knee area. And then relax the opposite arm out to the side. And if the shoulder blade on that right side, the opposite to the twist of the knees, isn't on the ground or is really far up and it's just hanging in space, then in order to get a little more twist, you push through the back of the skull, maybe through that right forearm that's on the floor, lift the upper back up and rotate and twist a little more, bringing the left shoulder further away from the anchoring of the outer left hip and the right shoulder blade closer to the floor. If the knees keep their stack pretty nice, you can stretch that left arm out to the side and then play with the arms so you get a nice opening across the front of the shoulders, chest, wherever it is that needs stretching for you. So each yoga pose is meant for you to explore. Be curious about how you can go into it in a way that really serves you. Looking for length in the whole of the spine so we can go deeper in the twist. You may do that pushing through the back of the head, lifting the upper back up and twisting a little more as you go deeper. And then perhaps even the head and the neck twist off to the side, opposite to the placement of the knees. And go into your breath. If there's still any form of agitation, consciously lengthen the inhale and the exhale, extending the exhale by a count or two, by a second or two. Relax where you're holding tension. Scan the whole of the body, but especially the face. Preparing to come out now. Squeeze the inner knees together, pull them forward and then up, and lower the feet to the ground, and realign any unevenness that has developed. Prepare by having a support on the other side. And then draw the feet off the floor one at a time. Squeeze the inner thighs and knees, engage the pelvic floor, lower belly, and roll the knees over onto the support on the other side. Rest the legs. Just let the feet come down. Knees stacked as much on each other as you can. And then again, to go a little deeper with the twisting, push through the back of the head onto the ground, lift both shoulder blades off the floor and twist a little more. So the shoulder blade that's fully on the floor moves further away from the anchor point of the outer hip thigh on that side. And the opposite shoulder blade, and in this case, the left side, is closer to the ground or on the ground. Again, you can do that a few times. Either holding the stack of the knees in place or both arms out. Play with the opposite arm, this left arm, as to where you get a nice opening. And then turning the head over in the opposite direction to how the knees are twisted and stacked. So in this case, head to the left, knees to the right. Again, moving into the breathing, letting it flow through your body in a conscious, aware pattern. Breathing along into the whole of your skeletal system. exhaling and relaxing so you create more space. So all the nerves and the circulation can flow more freely. Notice where there is resistance and tension. Let it drop away. Simply dissolve in the out-breath. Preparing to come out of this now. Squeeze the inner legs together. Pull the knees forward. Lift the knees up to the midline. Return the feet to the floor. And just pause here and feel. Just feel the more aliveness in through the whole of your body. Where do you feel it the most? Just rock the knees gently side to side, circulating that energy a little more, making the benefits of those deep twists go even deeper. Then come to center and set yourself up for deep relaxation pose. So depending on what your body is saying to you, tune in. If there's any tension in the low back of the legs, take that folded blanket or roll it up. Or if you have another small, round type of bolster, pranayama pillow, slide that underneath your knees. And then you can look down your body to make sure that you're entirely symmetrical on either side of the spine. Both the legs and the arms. Maybe the arms about 8 inches to a foot away from the sides of the hips. And if the shoulders are really pulling up, tuck the shoulder blades underneath you a little bit. So the palms can be more open to receive. Head is nice and even. Only having a thin cushion or blanket or towel underneath the back of the head if the chin is higher than the forehead. You can place an eye bag over your eyes. It just helps relax and release the mental chatter. Bring your awareness to your skeletal system. Inhale and feel the whole dynamic structure of it. As you exhale, let your whole body just sink into the earth. As you inhale, feel the lightness of your body. As you exhale, feel the energy connected to the earth. Inhale and feel the support of the ground and the earth, holding a steadfast and stable foundation so you can completely relax your body on the out-breath. Allow your mind, emotions to simply waft, whether there's thoughts or feelings, let them float by, arise and depart, just like clouds in the sky. Bring your awareness back to the natural breathing, the breath breathing you. Noticing it perhaps at the root chakra, the pelvic floor tailbone, or in the heart center. where you can also find that gentle rhythm of the breath, expanding and contracting. Simultaneously aware of the still point, where it all returns to. Preparing now to come out of this deep, restful place. Take a nice deep in-breath. And as you exhale, bring awareness to your physical body. Begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers, stretching more fully through the feet and the hands, the ankles and the wrists. Stretch now through the arms, and then bend your knees one at a time. Place your feet to the floor and rock your knees side to side. Just feeling the movement up the spine, up the torso, even into the neck and head. Roll over to your right side. Maintain your head in alignment with the spine, either a blanket or your hand. Keep your eyes closed and you focus inwards. Return to your initial intention. Perhaps something else has come to light, or you want to augment your intention. See it and feel it. And send that into your life. Step into that intention mindfully. Take it with you as you shift upright into an easy sitting pose, supporting underneath the buttocks, the sit bones as much as you need to be comfortable with the spine nice and long, natural curves. Then bring the hands together in prayer position, drawing them to the heart and drawing the heart to the hands. Just notice how you feel. Take a moment to give gratitude towards yourself for taking this time to cultivate your integrated being, your wellness, your healing, your ongoing maintenance. The divinity within me bows to the divinity within you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today.